Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going over my rolling project for eyeshadows for 2025. Last year I did a rolling project for my eyeshadows and it was pretty pathetic. I only panned a handful of shades and it was really hard for me to reach my goals. So last year I had one palette that I had 4 shades I wanted to hit pan in, and then I was doing a rolling project base where I would have I think 5 shades and I would either roll like a prompt or a specific shade. A lot of times the shades just didn't mesh well together. So I've kind of reformulated how I want to do this and I think I will see progress compared to last year. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lexi. I love project panning. I do lots of project panning, tutorials, vlogging, really just all kinds of stuff that I enjoy. So let's just get straight into it. So last year I was working on panning my NYX Ultimate Shadows palette, and you know what? It's here to stay. I want most of these panned by the end of the year. I'll just show you how it looks now. So I am pre-filming this in December, so I'm hoping to have pan in one of these shades before this actual video goes live. So that's what it's currently looking like. And honestly, these 2 bottom rows I don't really use often. They're too dark for what I usually use. I actually used some today, so I use this red and this like deeper toned red, more of like a plum shade. I use both of those to just kind of deepen up my crease just a little. I really just hang out up here, and that's what we're going to continue to do this year. Last year my goal was to pan this shade, this one, and this one. As you can see, I reached half my goals, and I'm definitely going to have this shade gone soon. I'm feeling like just a few more weeks and it's out of here, which is really nice. That will be like the first eyeshadow I've ever like completely finished, which is just crazy to me. It's definitely my oldest palette. I've had other ones in the past where like after a while they didn't perform as well and I just kind of got rid of them, or it wasn't really my taste anymore. And yeah, I've just never like completely finished an eyeshadow before. But I want to go over what my goals are for this year. I'm definitely going to still work on these other shades that I have. I think I can probably finish this one by the end of the year and probably hit pan in this one too, but those aren't my main focuses. I'm going to pick 4 new shades from this palette that I want to hit pan on. And why I think I wasn't able to do this last year is because I only picked 1 shade at a time. This year I'm picking all 4 shades at the beginning of the year so that they all have an equal and fair chance to be panned by the end of the year. So first off, I think I'm gonna go with this shade to start with. Last year I was working on this one, which I used as a highlighter, and I feel like this one's kind of the same thing. I kind of back and forth, and they both work as highlighters or like under your brow highlighter. So I think that one will be easier. It really looks like there's not much use in it, so it's definitely gonna be kind of hard, but I think I can do it. Next shade I'm thinking of is this brown on the far end. I really enjoy that shade. I think it can work like either cool or warm toned depending on the other colors it's using. So I really do enjoy that one, and I feel like that's a nice like transition shade, and I could also use it by itself if I want to. I feel like it's very versatile, and yeah, I think that one will be equivalent to how long it took for this. Probably 60 uses. They're both matte shades. This next part of the palette I'm a little stuck on. So there are 2 shimmers that I do enjoy. This like pinkish one and then this kind of like bronze one. I do like both, but I just don't reach for it as often just because I was trying to really hit pan on this one. Is it crazy for me to want to do both? I think it is a reasonable goal. So they do hit hard pan really easily just because you're using your finger. I tried using a brush and like it doesn't pick it up at all, so you really do have to use your finger for these shimmers. But I think that is the ones that I want to use for this year. Like I said, I'm definitely going to finish this one soon, and I feel like I'm going to be expanding the pan on that pink one, and I definitely think I will be hitting pan on these soon, if not before the year, then during 2025. Yeah, those are my goals for this palette. The second project is going to be switched up a little bit. So like I said earlier, last year I was rolling prompts, and that would kind of like steer me to picking shades, or it would be specific shades. A lot of times it just wasn't working well, or there were certain shades I would gravitate towards more versus the others, and then one shade would be in there for multiple rounds. This year, I really wanted to revamp it and just make sure that I'm getting more progress, as well as using all of my palettes. That's another concern from last year. I felt like so many of my palettes were neglected because I was so focused on hitting those project pan goals that I kind of just put everything else away and wasn't using it. So this year, I'm kind of doing a similar thing, but I am rolling a number and each number is correlated with a palette, and I'm gonna do kind of like a project level up. So I didn't come up with this. I don't know who came up with this type of project, but I've seen other YouTubers do this. And you take a palette and you will use every single shade in that palette. Once you have used every shade once, you can decide to level it up so that you need to use every single shade twice now, or picking a different palette. I'm gonna go based on that, and I'm thinking, depending on the size of the palette that I get, I will definitely try and level up some of them, but some I might just want to go through it once and then be done with it. I really think it's going to help me just get through all my palettes this year. That is my goal, that every single palette is used within the project level up. My NYX palette, as well as like my eyeshadow singles, will be excluded from this. Definitely neglected some last year as well, but I think it will be much easier to pair them along with these, so I don't really have like problems with that. And with a single, like, you use it once and then you've reached your goal, so that seems kind of silly to me to have it in this type of project. But I will try and incorporate some singles like when I'm doing a Shop My Stash. So I did already roll the palette that I will be starting the year off with, and this one is going to be so easy for me, and I'm already planning on doing a level up for this one. So the palette that I got is my ColourPop Fly Away palette. It's a 5-pan palette, so like I said, it's going to be super easy. And I really love this palette. The color story is not very appropriate for January and, you know, this winter, but I think I can still get it to work. Like I said, I love this palette. I am a sucker for these like neutral browns, and this one is perfect. Though it does lean a little more warm toned than you would think, because all of these are very cool toned. So really enjoy these shimmers. They're so pretty. I love green. Green is my favorite color. And I really do enjoy like this army green, but this one down here is kind of like a dark brown, and it's very cool toned, and I've only used it like a few times. When I have used it, it's because I've made a whole look using this palette, so that's why I feel like it's going to be super easy. I can definitely do one eye look using the entire palette. I'm thinking a goal of leveling it up 5 times. Is that insane? I don't know, because my goal is to give you an update every month. So between these two, I don't know. This is very like warm toned, and then this is cool toned, and very different color stories. So maybe 5 times is a bit extreme. I think I will have a goal of 3 times, and within that update, if I reach 5 times, that's awesome. But I think 5 times will, or like level up to 5 would be the max that I do. But yeah, maybe that's a little too out there if I'm using this palette. But yeah, I will just give a swatch for all these because like I said, they're so pretty and I just really enjoy the color story. So here are the swatches for the 5-pan. And I do feel like these 2 mattes, they were a bit stiff and definitely stubborn in trying to blend out. I didn't use any primer, so that could be the reason. I've used them in the past, and you really just need the tiniest amount with those 2, and then just need to blend them really well because they are pretty stiff. I love this like darker shimmer. It is just like such a beautiful olive green. It is so pretty. And then, like I said, this red or brown, it's very warm toned for the rest of the color story. Like, it works, but it is very warm toned in my opinion. And then that last shimmer is just such a nice like chartreusey green. It's really pretty. So I'm excited to get some use out of this. It does feel a little weird using it in January. This is something I usually bust out in the fall. Green is my favorite color, so it should be easy. But paired with this, I don't see myself like pairing these together, so it'll be either one or the other, I'm feeling. But that is my project to start off for the year. I'm super excited, and I do think I can get through all of my palettes, and I will be giving a monthly update and deciding if I'm going to level up, if I've even reached the goal of using the palette completely, as well as progress with this palette. Let me know what your favorite type of project panning is, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!